All right, so today what we're going to be talking about is adding or subtracting rational numbers, specifically adding or subtracting fractions. Today we're going to touch on proper fractions, improper fractions, and mixed numbers. So the first thing we're going to talk about is our end-all rule that we need to remember. So for fractions with different denominators, you must find the equivalent fractions with the same denominator before you can add or subtract them. You have to find a common denominator. So for example, if I have this question, I have 2/3 plus 1/5. How on earth are we going to figure out a common denominator for that? Well, a very common practice is to just multiply our two denominators together and you'll get that a common denominator. However, there are some different methods and one we're going to touch on briefly at the moment. This one is least common multiple, using the least common multiple. Now, if you recall from some of our previous videos, we talked about what a multiple was and specifically what a least common multiple was. First off, let's talk about what a multiple is. A multiple is something you um, count up by that number. So the multiples of 3 would be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, so on and so forth. All right. Then our multiples of 5 would be 5, 10, 15, 20, you get the picture. All right, so what we can do is we can actually find the least common multiple of these two, and this can become our denominator, common denominator. In this case, it's 15, which is in fact what 3 times 5 is equal to. However, it does make it a little easier to just think of it as finding a least common multiple. So now we know that our answer is going to have 15 as our denominator. So we need to convert these two to have those common denominators. So now I have to change my original fractions. Well, I have 2/3, which needs to be turned into something with a denominator of 15. So we always look at the denominator of the original, 3, and the denominator of what we want it to be, 15. Well, how do you go from 3 to 15? You multiply by 5. So then we have to do the same thing to the numerator. What's 2 times 5? 10. All right, same with this one. 5 times what equals 15? 3. 1 times 3 is 3. So then we just add the top. We have 13 over 15. We can't reduce this, so this is our answer. All right, so I have some other ones. This one you could use the same common denominator with. We're actually going to look at this one. We can figure out a common denominator between 7 and 8. I trust you can do this on your own. Our answer would be 37 over 56 because our common denominator would be 56, so on and so forth. I think you get the picture. Okay, with subtraction, same exact idea, okay? So you're going to find a common denominator, but instead of adding the numerators, you're going to subtract them, okay? Now, what if we have mixed numbers? What if we have mixed numbers? So for example, if I have 2 and 1/4, and I want to add that to 3 and 2/3. The first thing you want to do is turn these mixed numbers into improper fractions. So we're going to go 2 times 4 plus 1, which is 9, over 4. Add that. 3 times 3 is 9 plus 2 is 11. So 11 over 3. Now I have to find my common denominator between 4 and 3. I think you guys could figure out that it would be 12. So 4 times what equals 12? 3. 9 times 3 is 27. 7 times what equals 12? 4. 11 times 4 is 44. Add those two top numbers together, and you're going to get 71 over 12. You can turn this back into a mixed number if you'd like. So 71, 12 goes into 71 5 times with 11 left over. So 5 and 11 twelfths. All right, exact same thing if you were to subtract it. All right, so that's all I have for you today. Tomorrow I'll be prepared to practice this.